Hello, everybody. This is Beth Worsdell, author, and welcome to the Witty Writers Show. And happy Earth Day. I am here with the fabulous Kim Hanzo.
Yay! Thank you.
Happy Earth Day.
Yes, this perfect day to discuss one of my books.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm super excited. And I did mention this to you before we came online. I think I've become one of your biggest fans. Your artwork is just to die for, and every single piece of your artwork that I've seen, because I do research my guests quite thoroughly, every single bit of your artwork is just so beautiful, but also warm, and you just want to snuggle up to these animals because they look so cute. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's the goal. So I'm glad it's doing its job.
I don't know about the kids who read your books, but I want like night dresses with your little creatures on and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe that's to come. Yes.
We've already got people joining us, so come and say hello, everybody. Heather is first in. Look, Heather, she says hello and happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
Thank you, darling. Happy Earth Day to you, Heather. And I'm sure she's watching with her young daughter, Gemma. And I know Gemma's going to fall in love with your books when she sees them. But yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you've come to join me today on Earth Day, because you are an author and an illustrator with huge background, which we'll go into. But the majority of your artwork are all animals. They're beautiful, from penguins to polar bears to deer, rabbits. Your talents are just never ending, I have to tell you. Now, you've already published one book, which is Stand Together. If we could have a look at that one, that would be wonderful, because everybody's joining us. I want you all to see the beautiful books. Look at those penguins. Stand Together. Now, I believe Stand Together is about community and working together to solve issues.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, there are 5 roly-poly penguins. This is the first in the World of Difference series, and this one is about community. So just to give you an example, as these penguins go through, let me make sure I can get this on the screen, through their day, they encounter different situations. So this one is feeling sad. He has some hurt feelings. We don't really know why, and that's not really important. The important thing is that, you know, when we stand together and comfort each other, it makes a world of difference. So there are different scenarios that go on in this book that cover different ways that these penguins can support each other and really kind of rely on and contribute to their community. So that is what this one's all about. And all of the books in this series cover all of the continents. So when the series is complete, it will represent the whole world. So obviously this one's Antarctica. So that's number 1.
I love that. And you're just about to release book 2, aren't you? Which is Walk Lightly. Yeah,
Walk Lightly actually just came out a couple weeks ago, and that's this one right here. This one is, I'm trying to get it in the light. This one takes place in the South American rainforest. So we've got this friendly little jaguar walking through the rainforest. And in this case, he encounters a toucan that is kind of hogging this whole big tree because, you know, he thinks it's flashy, it's shiny, it's great, it's all mine. But kind of learns that really if we share and the whole idea of recycle, reduce, and reuse, that everybody's happier. You know, he has friends, there's community and whatnot. So this book is really about caring for the earth. As the jaguar goes through the rainforest, he's going to encounter different animals, and they kind of learn from page to page different ways they can better take care of the earth.
That's just fantastic. And perfect timing to release it around Day. I mean, you picked a perfect time, could you? The illustrations are just stunning. And just so everybody knows, Kim has done all the illustrations and she's written the stories. She's so talented. She really, really is. And we've got people coming on as well, sending messages. Look, so we've got Francisco who's joined us. He says, hi, Beth and Kimberly. And Kirsten's joined us. We know who you are. From Fox Pointe Publishing, who's actually published your books. And she says, incredibly talented. I absolutely agree. And Francisco says, great books. Congratulations, Kimberly.
Thank you.
They are absolutely breathtaking. And I love the fact that your books are so thoughtful and so well written. It's so well written in that children can grasp the whole meaning behind it in a really light-hearted, fun way, but taking in the message.
Right.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. And you're so talented. It's a very fine balance when you're writing for a younger generation, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah. And I really, in the books, tried to kind of break down that bigger topic into everyday ways that kids can kind of ingrain in their daily life, helping them realize that, you know, there is this kind of kindness movement, kindness matters, but, you know, you don't have to be a hero. You don't have to make a grand gesture to make a difference. Really, you make a difference by your everyday actions and supporting each other and caring for the earth. And the rest of the next 4 books will deal with some other ways to do that as well. But yeah, it's about making your own contribution every day. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. Now, for those of you who are very intrigued by Kim's books, because I know you all are, Kirsten, who actually is from Fox Pointe Publishing, she's actually very kindly put the link in the comments so you can actually see Kim's other books that are due to come out and when they are due to come out. So you can start collecting them right now, and then by time Christmas comes, you'll have the whole set, and they make beautiful gifts for Christmas and birthdays. Honestly, you can't get a better gift for a younger child. They're absolutely beautiful. And I believe the age range they're aimed for is about 4 to 8 years old.
Yeah, about 3 to 7, 4 to 8, or in that range. Yes.
But I love the fact that they are the type of book you want to read to your child as well. You know, little ones, you know, when they start getting tired and they want to snuggle up to you and they want to see nice pictures, and you can actually read to them as well. So the age range really goes right up, doesn't it? When you look at it that way. I think that's so exciting. I'm so excited for you. Now, just so everybody else knows, you've been doing this a very, very long time, haven't you? Because you went to college and got 2 degrees.
Yes. So I have always come from a family who's very crafty. So, you know, that kind of creative gene is in me. And I knew probably sometime in elementary to middle school that I really wanted to make this a profession, and that hopefully I had the chops to do that. So yeah, I went to the Rochester Institute of Technology. I'm from Western New York, and I got a bachelor's in illustration and a master's in painting. And then, you know, started my career, and for the most part took staff jobs, but they all revolved around illustration and graphic design. And they were all somehow surrounded either education and or printing. So I've been in that publishing field for a long time, and all of those experiences have kind of afforded me the insight into the printing process and pre-press and, you know, designing for prints and all of that. And I always knew that my ultimate goal would be children's books, illustrating them. I just, you know, it took a while to have the guts, I guess, to do it. Yeah. So about 5 years ago, I started my own business. And that's when I started freelance graphic design and illustration. It was just time. And then, you know, COVID has actually been a bummer for many people and a hardship. And I'm not going to say it wasn't for me, but it did force me to kind of embark on a goal that I had and I was nearing, but I hadn't really broken the ice. And I thought, well, you know, normally I do a lot of big shows and things like that, and that's how I meet my audience. And I couldn't do those. They were all shut down. So now I've got this time. So let's just give it a shot. So I started reaching out to publishers and whatnot, more for the illustration aspect, and connected with Fox Pointe. It was one of those kismet, perfect timing, perfect fit, and I couldn't be happier with them. That was this past fall. And I illustrated a few books, which I thought was my ultimate dream. And then I was like, there's some more coming here. So let me give it a shot. And so now I juggle both. I illustrate for other authors as well as my own books. So yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You blow me away, Kim. You really, really do. And I've actually interviewed authors who you've illustrated for.
Oh, yeah.
So the books are just spectacular. They really, really are. Does it still surprise you that, because let's face it, as young children, we all aspire to have, some sort of career or whatever. Very few of us actually stick to what we decide we want to do at a young age. It changes from possibly year to year to year. But you had this vision quite early on, and through sheer hard work, and I know you worked your socks off, especially in college. Oh my gosh. You must have such a great sense of accomplishment going through this journey, doing something that not only are you super talented at, but doing something that you love.
Absolutely. I'm still in that phase where it's surreal to me. There are days when I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm doing this. I've always worked in printing, so the whole idea of having my work printed is not new. So in that sense, I'm comfortable with it, but I've also not ever had my name on it. I've never done interviews for my, graphic design work before. So that part of it is like, well, wow. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Half of it feels natural, and half of it is just like, is this happening? That's the best way to explain it. I mean, it's a joy for sure, and hopefully just the tip of the iceberg.
Do you know what? I can pretty much guarantee that's the case. I really, really can. It's just amazing. Kirsten says, Kim has a lot of groupies. That's so cute. I bet that adults and children, that's the funny thing. I bet adults like me love all your work just as much as the younger generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oftentimes when I have attended shows in the past with my prints and that kind of thing, oftentimes, there's a few people who be like, oh, my kids aren't that age anymore, so they kind of walk on by. But most of the people that come in are like, well, I don't want to get these for my kids or my grandkids. I want them for me. And I'm like, well, you can have them. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been fun to watch it develop, and I draw a lot of inspiration from my audience. So I'm hoping to be able to do more in-person events soon, because that really is very meaningful.
I agree. I think there's something very special being able to connect with your followers and your readers and the lovers of your work on a one-to-one basis. I think it brings so much joy to the readers, but also to us as well, because there's nothing that gives you more of a boost emotionally, and it gives you so much more encouragement to keep doing what you love.
Absolutely.
By meeting somebody, them saying, I love your work. It's so meaningful. And I bet you can't wait to get to all the fairs and the craft shows and everywhere else you normally do. That's just amazing. So you say you're a family of crafters. Are they sort of artists and painters as well, or do your family vary?
So I came from a very small family growing up. I have a big family now, so night and day. But my grandparents, I was raised by a single mother. So my grandparents on that side were both handy in a sense. So my grandfather did a lot of woodworking and just different craft. He did a lot of basket weaving, ship modeling. He was great at real tedious work and very detailed work. In his family, dating back, there were some people that did painting and that kind of thing. My grandmother was more the person that would knit and do those kinds of crafts and craftsman work. And then obviously that trickled down to my mother, who passed it on to me. So nobody had really been, as far as I know, a professional artist, but there had been a line of craftsmen, I guess you could say. So I think I'm the first person that's taken it to the next level.
Wow.
But I can't imagine doing anything else.
It's funny, isn't it? How, you know, your destiny is laid out for you if you're only going to, you know, if only you take the chance and go for it. Do you think that seeing, you know, your family doing their various arts and crafts gave you the patience and the, you know, some of the skill sets that you use now as a professional illustrator?
Oh, I'm sure. I think sometimes those things are so ingrained in you because that's the life you know. I don't know that I consciously have thought about it, but I think you're definitely right. I mean, when we would, you know, have TV on at night, and this is still true, I have a hard time just sitting and watching a show. I listen to them, and there are some that I will sit and watch because you just have to get the details. But for the most part, I like doing something else with my hands while I'm watching because I can listen and create at the same time. And that was the case growing up. I can remember my mom sitting there and doing some sort of needlepoint or something while we watched shows. It was very rare that you would just sit and stare at the TV.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And it's so funny you say that because I am exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, like you, I love to write, I love to paint, I love to create art. And it's funny that you love nature so much because I'm a huge nature lover. And I've created quite a number of art pieces using actually fronds from palm trees that have fallen off. And I've cleaned them, varnished them, and spray painted them, actually mounted them and everything. So like you, I see beauty in nature.
Absolutely. That's my sanctuary, I would say. Yeah. Definitely. In the home where we live now, which we moved into a little over a year ago, there is just incredible nature around us, more than we even realized when we moved in. And especially in the time where we've been sort of sequestered at home for the most part, it has been a nice reconnection. I've always had that in my life. We used to camp when I was younger and that kind of thing. So it's never really been gone, but I'm definitely immersing myself again more than I ever had since I've been a child.
Oh, it's funny. I think I saw a video that you shared recently. Isn't it like a little baby snake?
Yeah, a little brown snake.
It was so cute.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're misidentified often, and people tend to kill them when they see them in their yard. So I just felt compelled when I found that one to share that video. I thought, you know, I have this knowledge. I'm kind of a nerd like that. So, you know, why not use it for a good purpose?
I think it was fabulous. And you're right. Brown snakes actually tend to eat and kill the more poisonous snakes. So I thought it was lovely that you shared it. I really, really did. I thought it was fantastic. Don't forget to say hello, everybody. And if you've got a question for Kim, please put them in the comments because Kim would like to answer your questions for you. Now, I believe you had quite a lot of support from your art teachers and everything as you were growing up. I think it's really great that there are teachers out there that actually voice to children if they've got a talent and encourage that. And I think that's super, super important. Do you think it was having that encouragement and support that really drove you to seeking a career in illustrating and writing?
I don't know if it solely was, but it definitely gave me a springboard. I came from a very small town. I graduated with 75 people. So it was a small high school comparatively to most. And at the time, I didn't realize it. But now, you know, getting out in the big wide world, I realized we had 2 art teachers in my high school. And fortunately, with the way my class path took, I was able to take different electives and kind of pack my schedule as many as possible. I don't know that many schools have as many of those options. So yeah, I was really able to bond with both of those teachers. One of them in particular, I kept in touch with years after I was in college. Yeah, so it was just great relationships and a lot of support and guidance and help preparing for college. Would I probably have done it anyway? Probably, but I would not have been as prepared as I was without those programs.
It's just amazing. It really is. Now, tell us a bit more about your illustrations, because obviously that's a huge part of what you do. You know, your writing is absolutely wonderful. absolutely wonderful. And the fact that you can create your own illustrations to go with your own stories is just fantastic. It really, really is, because we're getting to sort of discover your personality through your images and through your writing. Do you find that it's been quite tricky to merge the two to create your books, or do you find that it's come really quite naturally?
I think it's come naturally. Writing in of itself, like for an artist, and I don't think I'm alone in this, if you say go write something, you're like, yeah, I don't know about that. Like that's not my mode. Like that's not how I express myself. But I've dabbled with writing in the past. I do remember in elementary school doing creative writing and loving it. I mean, sometimes it gets laborious for any kids. So obviously I had more of a natural inclination to do more visual arts. But there's always this sort of internal story behind the pieces that you're illustrating. It's all storytelling. It's just whether it's through words or pictures. So I think when I finally decided to bite the bullet and try to write something, this series in particular is a deeper dive into a piece that I had done several years ago, which is a great springboard. I have some other books planned coming up that are first blushes at these stories, but yeah, I think I'm not sure which comes first, honestly. When I write, obviously I have an outline that of the lessons that I want to convey, but I also kind of think about, okay, well, how am I going to illustrate that? So they both influence each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. It's quite amazing how so many different authors and illustrators have such different ways of doing it. You know, it really is. It always amazes me, but I think it's whatever works for the individual.
Absolutely.
There's no right way or wrong way. Exactly. Kayla Lynn has joined us. Hello, darling. She's a fellow illustrator too. She's absolutely fabulous, and she says congrats.
Thanks, Kayla.
It really, really is. Now, tell me a bit more about your process. Are you more modern and digital illustrator, or are you more traditional and you prefer working with hands-on mediums?
Yes, both. So I've kind of lived through that transition. So I'm dating myself a little bit, but you know, I first learned to draw, you know, everything traditionally. And so that computer art was coming into effect when I was in college or a little bit before that. So I dabbled in it then, but that wasn't the main way that we produced work. So my training, I guess you could say, is traditional, but then my career has been digital. And there is something that happened. There's a tactile quality that you cannot replace with digital, and I still retain some of that. And that's why all of my illustrations start with sketches, and I use them in some way. Sometimes they're more refined than others in all of my pieces, because I just like that gritty gestural quality. I think there's a lot of energy that is kind of built into that you can't get through a perfected digital line, let's say. Yeah. But there is also something with digital. I mean, you can undo and redo, and there, you know, that is nice too. So if you know you draw something or color something, you're like, I don't like that, well, you just delete it and start over, or not even start over. You just start that part over. So there's like this nice balance there. So I do. Like I said, the foundation of my drawings are handwork, and then I will combine everything digitally and colorize it that way. I really like patterns and paper patterns. So if it fits the project I'm doing, I will combine those into the pieces as well.
That's absolutely fantastic. I love the fact that you are able to do both. I think nowadays, I think that there's so many different options, aren't there, for people who are just getting into it, doing illustrations. But I think actually being able to create illustrations traditionally using various different mediums, I think it gives you a true appreciation of how different mediums work on paper, or if you're doing watercolor, I think that's a really good skill set to have. And the fact that you can do both for you, I mean, it's fantastic, because it opens up two different types of market, doesn't it, really? But it's just amazing. Now, as we said earlier, most of your illustrations are beautiful animals. They are gorgeous. Now, do you tend to work off pictures, like photographs, to get the general, idea of shape and portions, or do you just tend to do it mainly from your imagination?
Most of it is my imagination, largely because I've observed. I do like to photograph animals, and I've done a lot of that over the years. Just kind of a hobby, and it's relaxing to me. So on occasion, I will refer to a photograph, especially if it's an animal that I just can't formalize what the form should be in my head. I may try to find a reference to help me out, but for the most part, it's just internal. It's what I've observed, and I've kind of learned from observation.
Yeah. Now, when you decide that you want to do an animal, do you tend to do multiple different pictures and scenes of different positions, or do you tend to work on just one project at a time?
If I am doing it for somebody else, like a character study, somebody else's book, then yes, I will do multiple angles to kind of sort of give them a full range idea of what is going to come in the book. And usually I'll use gestures that relate to, there's something we're going to use later, a scene or an action. If it's just for me, then I just go. I just work through it.
No, I believe you have children yourself.
I do have 3.
You need a medal. I've got 4. I need a medal. We love them all, really. We love them all, really. They must be blown away by your talent.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're used to me doing creative work. I've always done it, and I do think they enjoy it. I when they see the books, they may not verbalize it 100%, but I see them read the dedication. I see them flip through it, and there's just kind of this look in there. I'm like, wow. I mean, my son did say after the first book that came, when we opened the box, he's like, you did this all by yourself? And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I do. So it's fun to see that. Again, that's that, experience that I've had with printing. I've done it. And so I'm used to seeing my work printed on some level. That's just normal to me, I guess, or normal to me. But for many people, that's amazing, and I get that. And so I appreciate it.
That's so cool. I absolutely love that. And something that I have mentioned to other children's authors as well is the fact that with children's books, not only can your children enjoy them, but when they have children later on, their children can enjoy them. And it's something that can just go on and on and on. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. In years to come, your great grandbaby's coming up to you saying, no, you made it. That sort of connection, I think, is a gift that just keeps on giving. I think that's lovely. So do any of your children have an interest? Obviously, they're seeing you constantly, creating these beautiful images of all these wonderful animals. Are any of your children sort of getting inspired to maybe follow in your footsteps?
That is an interesting dichotomy. So as a parent, you have to be careful what you, of course, I'm a resource and I'm happy to support them, but I'm their mom. So I kind of let them do their thing. And if they're interested in drawing or a design class, I support them. I have learned that I'm not going to give them a ton of tips unless they ask, because then I become the mom who's, and then they start comparing themselves to me, and that's just not That's not where they need to be. They need to explore and be their own person. And if it develops, I will support them. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, they're going to be their own person. So I have two that have mild interests in arts and crafts. I have one that absolutely does not. And that's fine. Be your person.
Yeah, it's amazing how different your children can be. It really, really is. I mean, I've got one that's really technically minded, you know, fascinated with anything mechanical engineering or whatever, and is a huge gamer. And then I've got my my oldest daughter, who is definitely more figures and numbers and that type of thing. I've got one who sings. And she gives me goosebumps. I mean, she's that good at singing. And I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. She has got an amazing voice. And she can out-sing me, even though singing's my passion, but she can out-sing me like that, and has been able to for a very, very long time. I just don't sing no more now. But it is amazing how, you know, how your children have such different personalities, and some are like you and have similar interests and some don't. But I think it's lovely that you're just letting them be them and finding their own, you know, their own little path. Now, for any budding illustrators or children's book authors, are there any things that you think that have really helped you on your journey? You know, key things that have made a big impact for you and made a difference?
You know, looking backwards, I can see things that have. At the time, I didn't necessarily consciously, obviously I planned to go to college for those skill sets, but my career path, it just was what naturally felt right to me. And so I would say just follow your gut, follow your passion, and it's going to take you where you belong. And ultimately, you know, the situation I'm in now, all of those things are cumulatively coming together and making my dream come true. That was not the plan. I mean, I didn't plan each step of my career for that purpose. It's just kind of how it fortunately worked out. So I would just say follow your passion, believe in yourself. You follow your gut. I'm a big believer in following your gut. I think your intuition often knows better than maybe your mind does.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, you know what feels right and what doesn't. And, you know, even starting my own business, that's scary. And there are a lot of people that were like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" That's what I'm supposed to do. I mean, that's all I can say is I felt like that's what I was supposed to do. And there have been some tough times and times when it didn't make sense to keep going, but I did, because that is what I'm supposed to, and here I am. So, you know, you just again, follow your gut.
You're absolutely right. I think you do need to trust your own instincts, and I think, you know, if you work hard enough, you can achieve so much.
Yeah, I think it's about believing that you have everything in you to handle what comes, even if you don't know what it is. You will figure it out. You're smart. You're able. You know, you just do.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you 100%. We've got some more comments. Theodore has joined us. He says, "Good evening, Beth and Kimberly."
Hello.
Thank you, darling. Unfortunately, he was working last week and he only caught the end of it, but glad to have you with us, Theodore. Heather would like to know, when you illustrate for others, do you prefer they come to you with a lot of notes with what they envision? Oh, I can't even get my mouth around that. Or that they give you a complete free rein? Ooh, that's a good question.
It is a good question. I don't have a preference. I think a good illustrator or professional creative, whether it's design or illustration, the same thing stands. I think you want to obviously internalize the story. You're going to get some ideas from that. If the author, has ideas and insight, or, you know, maybe they've written a story about the story's inspired by a child, let's say. That's important. I want to know that, because I'm trying to fulfill, obviously, their vision to an extent. I'm also the professional, so I'm bringing my own vision to the table, but it's a synthesis of all of that. It's not either or one or the other. So if they have things that they want to incorporate or things that they imagine, tell me. I've had some authors, well, they'll give me some ideas, and I'm like, well, have you thought of this? So it's a creative process, and I think up front, feeling all of that out is very important, because the last thing you want to do is get 2/3 through the book and they're like, I really wish this was in there. So I think that dialogue and communication up front is critical. And if they have notes, great. If they don't, that's fine too. I'm competent to handle that. So either way is fine. It's really just what benefits the creative process.
It really must blow some of these authors away that when you bring to life their characters, because as a writer, as you know, when you write a story, you've already created the character in your mind.
Right.
Trying to convey that to somebody else is actually quite a tricky process, so for you to actually create their characters and your own, it must, they must get so excited. Yes, that's exactly what was in my head. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, and all authors are different. So there are some that, you're going to go through several character studies till we find the right one. Not because what you've done is bad. It's just not, when you know. Yeah. And, but when that clicks, it's fun because it's just fun to see, because then all of a sudden you're on the same page and you can develop this character together. I've got one book that I'm working on right now. I love working with this author, and her story actually inspired or reminded me of an experience that I had with my kids. So I'm illustrating her story, but with my people. So it's really kind of fun to see, it's just this relationship and this connection that you can develop with authors just through that process as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, I would imagine you get quite a good connection with these authors because you're creating something so special together. I would imagine, a lot of the authors that you work with probably become very good friends because you've made their imagination and dreams become a reality, basically, haven't you? I think that's magical. I'm still feeling in awe of you, Kim, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you.
Out of all the animals that you create, and they're absolutely beautiful, do you have a favorite animal? Yeah, I think we all have a favorite animal that we love. I mean, I love elephants. Elephants have always been my thing. I just love them and have that connection with them. Is there one specific one that you think, oh, I love that?
That's a great question, because there aren't many that I don't like. So to identify a favorite, I don't know. One that I've kind of been, it's going to sound really weird. I like skunks. I don't know why. I guess because most people think they're unlovable. It's not like I collect them or anything like that, but I have a piece that is about kindness, be kind. And it's about a skunk, and it's basically about sometimes the least lovable person is the one that needs love the most. And that one connects with people a lot. So I don't know. I just have this kind of appreciation for them. And my daughter had a party one time where we had animals there, and they brought a skunk, and I was like, I have to hold the skunk. And they smell even when they have their glands removed, but it was fun.
They are cute little animals, I have to say. They are cute.
Oh, thanks.
And obviously, I mean, I'm from England, so we used to get cartoons with Pepe Le Pew. Remember Pepe Le Pew? Yeah. And his little girlfriend? I used to love watching those.
Yeah.
I do, or should I say I did love skunks. Because they are quite cute. And we do get to see, in California, we do get to see little skunk families. We have a lot of babies. There's a whole tribe of them going on. However, last year I did have a bit of a bad experience with 2 skunks. Actually, Kim, because I decided to take my dogs out the front on the grass to go for bathroom, And they raced out the front, and there was 2 skunks right outside my front door, right there. Both of my dogs got squirted. You've never smelled anything.
I can imagine.
It was the most awful thing. It's bad enough when you can smell one that's been like hit on the road.
Yes, right.
But when it's fresh
Mm-hmm.
and it's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. A lot of my followers were in fits because I was literally doing a play-by-play on my Facebook going, oh my good God, you will never believe what's happened. And tomato juice does not work, everybody. It does not work.
Oh,
just
gosh.
Removal spray and stuff and just have it in your house. But they are really cute animals, I have to say, and I can understand that. So are you likely to do any books with skunks as the main characters?
I not as the main character, but the next book that I currently have one book that is at the printers, that's Give Freely. That one takes place in Africa. So the main character, well, I should say that the first character and the last character you see is an elephant. But then it's different African savanna animals. But then the next book after that is Live Gently, and that one takes place, that's a woodland theme. So the main character is a fawn, but yes, there is a skunk in the book.
That is so lovely. I love the fact that you're literally taking your story around the world, and you're taking your children readers around the world.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm a huge animal lover. And like you know, I have the greatest respect for our planet and the animals on it. And I do get quite upset when I see stuff being done to animals and stuff that just breaks my heart. I think it's lovely that your books are going to be educating children without them even realizing it.
I hope so.
I think that's lovely. Now, I've noticed that the majority of your illustrations are land mammals, but I have seen some that are, I saw dolphins, and I saw a beautiful illustration of a whale. Are you likely to be doing like land and sea in the future?
It's funny you ask me that, because the World of Difference series does not take into account the ocean. However, it should be represented as part of the world. So I've been contemplating how that might be an encore book at some point, to kind of bring that into the situation. I haven't quite fleshed out how that's going to work, but yeah, it's definitely on my mind, because I mean, there's nothing more fun than drawing colorful fish and octopus and all that thing.
Yes. I absolutely agree. And it's funny because I recently went away and did a bit of snorkeling, and that was just absolutely amazing, seeing all these tropical fish, and just the colors are just so vivid. It must be like an illustrator's dream seeing something like that, you know, because when you get like a colorful angelfish or something like that, you must be able to just make them pop from the page.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many shapes and colors and textures in the ocean that yeah, you can go on for days.
And it's funny because children always tend to go for the weirdest animals as well, like sea anemones, and they want the really wonderful creatures, don't they? It's funny because my daughter's favorite animal is a narwhal.
Oh yeah.
And
did you see the narwhal on my website? I have one. I do.
I did. That's why I mentioned it. She was so super excited. I mean, my daughter's got narwhal socks, narwhal cuddly plushies, or whatever they're called. Oh, she's got narwhal everything. So when she saw that, she was like, "Oh my God." It's just amazing. So do you have a bit of a menagerie at home? Are you know, do you have lots of pets and stuff?
Oh gosh. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, I have 2 dogs. We have well, it's actually my mom's cat, but in the household we have a cat. We have a guinea pig, a geriatric guinea pig, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fish. So yeah. That's you know, and then I have a whole backyard full of wild animals. So I mean, I love it, and possibly would have more if I didn't have children and a husband, but you know, that's enough things that need to eat and whatnot.
Because we always end up doing it all, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Always the way. Kirsten says teachers love Kim's books.
Oh, good.
I can understand why. I really, really can. And I love the fact that you're able to, or you're planning to publish the whole series this year, because I think once children get their hands on them, they're just going to go, they just want one after the other, after the other. And I think that's wonderful. I'm really excited to think of all, I know it's early, but I'm really excited for Christmas because there's so many children that are going to be able to open up your books as gifts.
I hope so.
And they're going to be so super excited. I think that's lovely. I've actually planned, I'm going to be collecting the books because I've actually got some nieces in the UK. So I'm going to be buying them and collecting them and shipping them to my nieces for Christmas. So I'm super excited to see their little faces.
Yes.
It must give you so much joy, Kim, to see children's faces light up when they see your characters. I'm in love with your penguins. I think they're so cute. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now, just everybody who's watching, just to let you know, Kim has very kindly offered to give away a signed copy of your beautiful book. There we go, Walk Lightly. This is in relation to Earth Day. So being kind to animals and the planet and each other, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Now, it is for US only. And I say that because as an author myself, it costs a ridiculous amount to actually send them abroad, I'm afraid. So we are keeping it US only. But the other good news is that I'm actually doing a giveaway myself for Earth Day for a completely different age range. It's for young adults. So you've got the chance of winning a young children's book or a young adult edition of Earth Angels ebook. So if you would like a free copy of the Earth Angels ebook, go on Amazon. You can download it for free. My little celebration for Earth Day. And if you would like the chance of winning Kim's beautiful book, Walk Lightly, all you have to do is share. So share Kim's interview in as many places as you can. Facebook, Instagram, wherever I've shared it, you can share it and tag me, and I will see your share, and you'll get entered in to win the giveaway. Kim, I'm so excited for you. I really, really am. I think you're just going to just blow up, I think, on the children's book scene. I really do, because the illustrations in your books are so beautiful inside and out, words and pictures. You must be super excited for this pandemic to be over. Just you can actually hand them to children and go, there you go.
I think we're all waiting for that to be over and super excited for that. But yes, yes. I mean, I would love to be able to, maybe do some school visits and things like that and read the book and hand it out. Yeah, people right now will sometimes send me a photo of their child or grandchild who's received the book, of them reading it. And it's just so precious to see it in the hands of the audience it's intended for. It really is. So yes, I'm definitely hoping that I can do more of that in person in the coming months.
Do you know what? It's amazing because in my head, I can literally visualize your books being in like zoo gift shops.
Could be
places like that, because it's got such a connection to do with animals and such great messages and everything. I can really picture myself walking into a gift shop in a zoo and seeing your books there all displayed next to all their plushies. I think that would be absolutely wonderful. It's so educational. It really, really is. Kim, I'm just so impressed with your books. I absolutely love them. I really, really do. Where can people purchase your books? Because I know they can get them direct from Fox Pointe Publishing, and Kirsten's very kindly add the link on there. They're on Amazon as well, aren't they?
They're on Amazon, and you can also purchase them from my website, which is Lello, like yellow, with starting with the letter L, Lellow, Lolly, LOLLY.com.
And you need to go and have a look at Kim's website, because her illustrations are beautiful. You also do like gift cards, postcards, loads of different products with your illustrations on. They're just absolutely stunning. So everybody do go and have a look. I believe I've got all your other links on here as well. And good news, everybody, because I've actually created a podcast at last. So your interview and all my previous interviews will be available to listen to as well. So for those of you who like to listen, and while you're working or driving or whatever, you can actually play back Kim's interview on my podcast as well, which I will share the link. And I can see Kirsten, she's so efficient. I love her. She's literally just putting up your links right there for us, so everybody can find your books. It's absolutely wonderful. She's a mean working machine, that lady.
She is.
She is fantastic. Kim, you've been an absolute joy to talk to. You absolutely have. Before we finish, could we have another quick look at your books?
Of course, yes.
They're so beautiful.
This one's stand together. Hold it right up.
Oh my gosh, those penguins are so cute. I want those in real life, like
in real life.
toys on my bed.
Walk lightly.
That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Now, just quickly, I wanted to ask you: Do you struggle picking up? Do you struggle with character names, or do the names pop in your head as you're drawing them?
Well, these characters haven't actually had names. That's a good question, though. But I have a friend who's working on a book, and the animals have names, and I'm always like, well, is you sure that's the name? I don't say that because that's not my choice, but there have been times, you're kind of, is that really look like a so and so? But so far, my books have not. The animals aren't named. They just fulfill a kind of representation. They're symbolic. But that day may come. Yes.
Now, I would imagine, because you've done a lot of work in on the marketing side as well, especially for your own business, because you're literally swapping all these different hats. 1 minute you're the illustrator, next minute you're the author, next minute you're marketing and promotion. So you're swapping all these hats. Do you find that your graphic design and marketing experience has been really beneficial in helping?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, definitely. I mean, anybody else that I know that enters this, I feel, I like to share information and experiences, so I try to offer that. But I don't know how. My hat is off to anybody who starts doing this. I guess you could say cold turkey as a phrase, but because absolutely, as I mentioned before, every phase of my career has led me to this, whether it's business, knowledge, or marketing, or I mean, just what platforms to use and frequency and analytics. I wouldn't, when you do that for the first time, I at least have the insight behind the scenes before. So definitely that helps. Do I always do it well? No, because like you said, I'm wearing like 5 different hats, and there's no way you can do all of those great. So every day you kind of pick, which one am I doing today?
I know, and there's never enough hours in the day, is there? No. Especially not when you're still raising children as well.
No, right.
You've got all them jobs to do as well. You're a nurse, cook, laundry person. Do you know, my hat comes off to you, Kim, because you are such a multi-talented person. And I'm super excited to just see your career just keep lifting off the way it is. I would love to have you back in the future.
That'd be great.
To go over your new books. And maybe we can try and do something for Christmas or leading up to Christmas.
That'd be good.
Because I think you've got your last book coming out in November.
Yeah, so I'm going to finish this series, and then I have a surprise coming out for Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Right. So we need to get you back. We need to get you back when you launch the last book in the series, which is Love One Another. And then maybe you can announce your big surprise as well. All right.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, listen, Kim, thank you so much, darling. You've been an absolute pleasure. I can't believe the hour is like coming to a close already. It's gone so fast. But for those of you who aren't watching live, please, comment if you want to ask Kim anything. Please put it in the comments and tag Kim or myself so we can see your question. And then obviously the giveaway will run between now and next Thursday. So share. The more shares you do, the more chances you got of winning. And hopefully you will win a signed copy of a beautiful book. Kim, thank you so much, darling, for joining me.
Thank you, Beth.
You are absolutely wonderful. And I honestly can't wait to interview you again later in the year and see how you've been doing and how your books are flying off the shelves, I think.
Well, I hope so. Well, thank you. This has definitely been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you, darling. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Join us for next Monday for another live show. And it's all good. Have a fantastic weekend. And we will see you again later in the year, Kim.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Bye for now, everybody. Bye.